It is my pleasure to introduce Shannon Nill. Shannon has been with us since day one. I sent him a simple little email right after getting our nonprofit going. He responded like early the next morning, which was extremely exciting. We met a couple of times and he has sponsored all of our conference and we just did number 4. So very excited about that. And it's always been exciting to have Shannon around and his energy and his input. And he is now also very, very excited to announce he's on the board of directors.
Yay!
So, again, yes, we're all involved in this extremely fun adventure. So with that being said, we just did our 4th conference after 2 years of hiatus, you might say. And we had a safe and wonderful event. So Shannon, is there anything you'd like to add for that?
Well, yeah. First of all, Paula, congratulations on starting a great organization that filled in between when the doctors are done doing an amputation and they basically kick you out. They may recommend a physical therapist, but no one to handle the myriad of matters that come up as a new amputee. And even though I've been at this since 1974, when I lost use of my arm, when I learned the hard way not to ride in the back of a pickup truck, every one of us, including you, Paul, have been a resource for others without a planned method either. Just that doctors mention there's a new person with an amputation. Gosh, could you, Paula or Shannon, give this person some advice? But beyond that, after the conference, and a bunch of people that came this year were so glad they showed up, including this cute little girl about 9 years old that got to shoot my bow and arrow and had fun. I told her and her family they could borrow that bow anytime they wanted. And she was kind of charged up and energized on this. And so thank you for creating something that was needed. Had you not done this, we'd all be dealing with surgeons to give advice on what to do after. They're not the ones equipped to handle advice of that nature. So capital job on attracting a really good group and a great number of vendors like Marty and all the others that were there. Even if they don't deal necessarily with amputees, we buy everything also and need all categories covered. So Paula, hats off to you for a great trend. Proud to be a speaker at these events. And my topic, of course, is there's life after injury, which is so true, but we don't know that at first. We're a little freaked out. Giving younger people advice early on is the best medicine, not only for the individual, but for ourselves too, where we are reinforced in a way when we share good news about your opportunities. So that's all part of it.
Thank you, Shannon. So one of the reasons I started the nonprofit, exactly what Shannon just said. But, I didn't want to go out and play by myself. I wanted other amputees to go do runs with me or challenge themselves with rock wall climbing or archery. We've had several archery events with the exception of the conference and bike days. And that's, it's fun for everybody. And it's extremely fun for me because kind of feel like I started the nonprofit. I had an accident and by accident started the nonprofit, but developed so many friendships and it's...
And they might have thought, I don't know. And then when they got done, everybody was glad they were there. And our speaker, what a fantastic guy who came in. Yeah, he had a most amazing recovery story of all. But everyone has a story and it's important, but we also don't, we want to be normal and focus. And the best compliment of from others to amputees is they didn't notice we were missing a limb. Stuff like that we're just treated like a normal person. And my arm was in a sling for 35 years and people would stare at the damned arm and tell me that they broke their face and they hurt their knee or whatever they did. Now they look me in the eyes instead want to talk to me about what I'm doing and thinking instead of staring at a wounded limb. So for me, it was a blessing to get the arm out of my face. I got stubborn about having it amputated because I didn't have to, but the doctor said I should eventually, and I did. And I'm so glad I did. I kind of feel like I'm skinny dipping every day a little bit without the extra stuff on my neck, weighing down my neck. So yeah, a lot of good has come out of this conference, and so glad to be in person this year. What a boon and a blessing where we could see and gauge the emotions of people and give them sincere help, which is hard to do over other methods. But Zoom certainly filled a void, though, just like today. It's a good thing, but it's enhanced when you can be in person as well. Stuff. So yeah, a lot of good has come out of this conference, and so glad to be.
Absolutely. Well, I definitely want to say thanks for letting me be involved as well, because realistically, I tell people from a standpoint of, I look at myself as, I'm a minority. People look at me as being different. I never really thought when I got there how my perspective would change working with people with disabilities. I never thought about how amputees would be looked at. Just that whole environment. I didn't know what to expect till I got there, and it was just wonderful all the way around. Like, people are people all the way around. So I thank you as being such a stalwart and just a major anchor in the Lane County and proper community, business, human person, just being a great part of this, and just a great supporter of the event itself. So
Marty, thanks a lot. Another note is that this group, like many others, was formed out of Springfield greeters who saw a need and banded together. And this conference had mostly folks from our greeters group, aside from the public, and other areas like Alex with the Reverence Karate. His membership is made up of Springfield greeters. So many good things have come out of Springfield greeters that gotta count our blessings for that alone. And you do, that's how we three of us all met. So great stuff. Keep up the good work with this conference. And for those of you out in Cyberland, we're here to support you too. So you need any help, get a hold of Paula or myself or any one of the board members. Marty is a great resource himself. But so yeah, it's mostly up here. It's life after injury and being chipper and knowing there's someone worse off than you, not far away, that you might inspire to pull up their own bootstraps too. So capital job, Paula, and thank you, Marty, for making this venue available.
I have two real quick things to add. A young man there from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
So that was exciting. Talk about Lane County. No, This guy was not even in the country, and he came and he experienced that. And places like Puerto Rico don't really have the options like we have here, and to be able to provide this event. So that was exciting. And I met a young lady that came up from Coos Bay, which is an hour and a half away. She'd been an amputee for several years, but never had been around other amputees. So she came up to me for just a couple of seconds towards the end of the day, and she was in awe of being around other amputees. The conference had to offer, and that was one of the most exciting things for me to hear. So woohoo!
Yeah, way to go. That's awesome. Yeah. She'll go back home and probably spread the word that there is life after injury, and it doesn't have to be amputation. It can be any setback can give you reason to kind of look inward and find ways to move ahead. But you've done a good job on this, Paula. Thanks a lot. I'm proud to be on the board. And Marty, thank you again for all you do to help others and get the word out on various causes that do need to be promoted. Without that, we would be in our own homes and the word wouldn't get out. So yeah, great stuff, you two. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.